Find level ground and make sure that there are no obstructions nearby. Check that you have all the parts required for assembly. Connect each lower frame tube A to a lower frame tube B. Lower frame tubes are those without spring holes or square ends. Ensure that the push buttons lock these components together. Connect each upper frame tube A to an upper frame tube B. Lay out each lower frame tube in a circle. Place the upper frame tubes around them. Ensure that all push buttons are on the left-hand side of their middle connection. Note, if all push buttons are not on the left half of the connected upper frame tubes and the ends of the lower frame tubes do not face the same direction, the frame and springs will not attach correctly. The punching lines on both ends need to face upwards. Position each joiner pole in the gaps around the frame tubes. The feet of the joiner poles must face outwards and the joiner connector inwards. Choose a joiner pole. Slide lower frame tubes into both sides of it and an upper frame tube on the left side only. Go around your trampoline, connecting the upper and lower frame tubes to each joiner pole until you complete the frame. Ensure that all push buttons properly lock. See that your completed frame matches the image on your screen. Unravel and lay your trampoline mat inside the frame, ensuring that it is flat with the print facing upwards. Find the Vuly batch tag on the mat and rotate the mat so that the batch tag lines up with a joiner pole. Note, the net entrance will be between the two joiner poles to the right of the batch tag. Rotate your mat to the desired position, but always ensure that the batch tag lines up with a joiner pole. The Vuly logo should be centered between two joiner poles. Attach a spring into the D-shackle that is to the right of the batch tag and connect it to the spring hole directly on the right of a joiner pole. Note, you must hook the short ends of the spring hooks into the D-shackles on the mat and hook the long ends into the frame. Go to the opposite side of the frame, counting springs against D-shackles as you go, and connect a spring to the right of the opposite joiner pole to its corresponding D-shackle. Tip: hooking the spring to the mat and pulling back to the frame is the easiest connection method. Alternatively, use the spring tool to pull up and connect the springs from the mat to the frame. Repeat for each spring and D-shackle to the right of every joiner pole. Then repeat for each spring to the left of every joiner pole. Unravel your safety net and lay it on top of your trampoline mat. Find the Vuly batch tag on the safety net and rotate the net so that this batch tag lines up with the one on the mat. Ensure that the PP belts on the safety net are on the outside and that they also line up with the joiner poles. Unhook the D-shackle that is to the right of the batch tag. Slip it through the net connector hole to the right of the PP belt before reattaching it to the net and frame. Do the same for the D-shackle to the left of the batch tag. Repeat for each spring and D-shackle to either side of every joiner pole. Make your way around the frame, slipping all D-shackles through their corresponding net connector holes. Go around your trampoline, attaching one spring per frame section to the mat and pulling it through the spring holes on the frame, ensuring that the D-shackles remain slipped through the net connector holes as you do so. Remember, spring holes alternate above and below the upper frame. Place the safety padding onto the mat and safety net. Ensure that all openings in the safety padding are over the net pole holes in the joiner poles, and the Vuly logo lines up with the entrance. Lift up the safety padding and completely remove the spring to the left of a joiner pole. Feed the spring through the loop on the safety padding before rehooking it to the mat and frame. Repeat for each spring and loop in the safety padding to the left of every joiner pole. Remember, ensure that the safety padding is correctly attached and secured. Properly installed safety padding is crucial to protect against injuries. Insert each upper net pole into each lower net pole. The lower net pole is reinforced at the bottom, and position them at each joiner pole. Insert each net pole plug into every upper net pole. Ensure that the materials are not twisted and that the upper net pole is facing outwards. Lift the net pole, raising the net at the same time. Insert it into the joiner pole through the holes in the padding. Repeat for each net pole until you have completely erected the safety net. Remember, ensure that the safety net is correctly assembled. A properly installed safety net is crucial to protect against injuries. Congratulations! You have finished assembling your Vuly Lift Pro Trampoline.